Hi, I'm amyteller. My wicked problem is on childhood obesity, or more specifically, the importance of developing a toolkit for parents that can serve as a valuable framework in the prevention of childhood obesity. My presentation will start off by addressing what the problem is, the current situation, its impact and contributing factors. Then I'll discuss my approach to a solution and how I plan to implement it. I'll conclude by emphasizing why this approach is the best course of action and some of the potential obstacles I anticipate as I move forward. The prevalence of childhood obesity has more than tripled in the US since 1970, with currently 1 out of 3 children considered overweight or obese. New research shows a continual upward trend across all age groups, with a sharp increase in the prevalence of obesity among 2 to 5-year-olds. If these rates continue, studies project that half of adults in the US will be obese by 2030. On a personal note, my stepbrother struggles with obesity. Growing up, he lived with his mother who was also obese, and he started putting on a significant amount of weight from a very young age. Several years ago, he got gastric bypass surgery and lost a significant amount of weight, but today he still struggles to keep it off. Obesity is a lifelong, daily battle that parallels addiction. It shapes how you view yourself and the quality and trajectory of your life, and it is a heartbreaking process to witness. And that's why I'm so passionate about this cause and feel that early intervention is a moral imperative to prevent a lifetime of struggles. Childhood obesity has significant immediate and long-term public health implications. First of all, obesity in adults and in children is associated with numerous chronic illnesses, including heart disease, hypertension, and type 2 diabetes, among others. And it's one of the leading drivers of healthcare costs in the US, estimated at over $190 billion. In addition to direct medical costs, the hidden costs associated with obesity include job absenteeism, reduced productivity or presenteeism, increased disability and unemployment, and even increased transportation costs. The aggregate real economic costs of obesity are appraised at over $92,000 per person, and forecasts project that costs could exceed $1 trillion. In addition to economic costs, there are what I call the human costs of childhood obesity. Children who are obese are likely to suffer social stigma, poor self-esteem, and depression that can follow them into adulthood. And once instilled, the reversal of obesogenic behaviors is difficult, and obese children are likely to remain obese as adults. But most importantly, we are raising an entire generation of unhealthy, underproductive citizens who have a shorter life expectancy than their parents. The underlying mechanisms of childhood obesity include a trifecta of physiological, societal, and environmental factors. Physiological mechanisms consist of genetic factors and metabolic imbalances resulting from the quality and quantity of food consumed, physical inactivity, and poor sleep. But it is the overconsumption of processed food products that is often cited as the biggest driver of obesity. These foods activate a cascade of biochemical responses in the body that snowball in complexity by encouraging fat storage, stimulating appetite, and driving cravings to consume more of the same foods. Food corporations understand this process and have actually engineered their products with the perfect formula of fat, sugar, and salt that optimize their addictive qualities. The societal factors grounded in a historical context include government subsidies on agricultural commodities such as corn, soy, and wheat, coupled with the advent of chemical fertilizers, pesticides, and preservatives, which drove down food costs, improvements in production and distribution processes, which paved the way for prepackaged foods, changes in social patterns with more women entering the workforce, which led to an increase in consumer demand for fast, convenient foods, and the highly effective marketing of processed food products. The result is that over time, these foods have become woven into the fabric of our food landscape. And today, children consume 500% more sugar than they did in 1970. Childhood obesity is systemic. In what I call the ripple effect, children of obese parents who model poor or emotional eating habits and sedentary lifestyles are prone to obesity themselves. Other factors include contradictory information on what is considered healthy, so that even well-intentioned parents feed their children unhealthy food. Paradoxically, studies indicate that there is a strong disconnect between knowledge and behavior, and that even parents who receive nutritional education still give their kids sodas and other inappropriate foods. Parents can play a pivotal role in cultivating dietary preferences and reinforcing healthy eating behaviors. So my solution centers on evidence-based early intervention and preventative measures, targeting parents as agents of change by providing them with a set of tools that can function as a blueprint on how to lay a solid foundation for lifelong healthy eating habits and empower them to build a healthier future for their children. This will take the form of a nonprofit, online, open source, and scalable digital toolkit, which I've entitled Growing Sproutlets, and will be distributed via social media channels and a website portal. And I've included some screenshots of a beta site I'm currently prototyping here and on subsequent slides. In order to achieve long-term sustainable change, the site content will speak to underlying drivers by focusing not on what or why, but how to instill preferences for unprocessed foods and integrate mindful eating techniques, while also addressing parents' need for convenient, low-cost, easy-to-prepare, tasty food that their children will actually eat. Features will include a meal planning tool with a calendar overlay of day-by-day meal plans, intuitive and customizable food preferences, and integration with existing digital applications such as Google Calendar and other grocery apps. A Build-A-Plate tool where you can drag and drop foods onto a virtual plate. A Start Smart Nourish Your Nest newsletter with topics such as healthy hacks for easy food swaps. A Shop and Shop how-to meal prep tool, and deceptively delicious ways to incorporate vegetable purees into kid favorite foods. And by the way, the spinach and black bean brownies are surprisingly good. Other features will include wellness webinars, Facebook Live videos, YouTube tutorials, and podcasts featuring content from health and wellness professionals in my network. And it'll have a digital community forum for users to share ideas and advice and daily struggles. Busy parents, especially of young children, don't always have the time, energy, or resources to plan and prepare nutritious meals. So the toolkit will feature a free set of resources focused on fast, cheap, healthy meals that take the guesswork out of meal planning. It'll speak to parents' needs for convenience and with user-friendly, well-designed features that are easily integrated with existing digital technologies and content that serves as a valuable roadmap to navigate the complex and sometimes confusing food landscape and pave the way for instilling sustainable, healthy eating habits for the entire family. Critical activities in executing this value proposition hinge on leveraging my personal network to provide valuable high-quality content, user-friendly digital features, and support for key business activities. Utilizing low-cost social media promotion and distribution channels to grow my reach, and securing funding through private sponsorships, crowdfunding, and applicable grants to support operations. Childhood obesity is a major public health problem, resulting in part from the overconsumption of processed food products that has significant direct and indirect consequences on parents, schools, the healthcare system, and society as a whole. Both the scope and scale of childhood obesity mandate well-crafted strategies that center on preventative measures and address the underlying contributing factors, including complex behavioral, physiological, and social drivers. And I believe my proposed approach is a strong course of action. By targeting parents as agents of change and providing them with a toolkit of valuable resources, then implementing an execution plan that centers around leveraging key partners in my network to supply key resources that will support my key activities to establish a sustainable value proposition for my customer segment. Looking ahead, I still have a lot of work to do and anticipate some obstacles along the way, including the integration of digital technologies, because I'm unsure if some are even possible, especially given my budget. Onboarding all key partners because they might not be able to provide all the resources I need. The efficacy of reaching my target using free promotional mechanisms, because some paid advertising will likely be necessary, and procuring the necessary funding, because I may not qualify for grants and crowdfunding may not provide enough capital, and partners may be unwilling or unable to provide sponsorships. And this is where I'll have to draw on my learnings throughout this MBA program, as well as the leadership lessons we learned in this course, namely cultivating relentless curiosity, unwavering moxie, and deep passion to follow my strength of purpose and work to heal childhood obesity through social wellness.